Right, yeah. So this is not something that you'd be. You I think I sent this through. So we do work off a fairly structured, similar to BNI type agenda where we go through. And yeah, thanks for coming along today. Just a reminder to everybody: next Monday is a public holiday, Easter Monday. So there's two things to recall. Adrian, what are those two things around scheduling?
Good Friday and Easter Monday are public holidays, so we don't have to do any scheduling for those
Yeah,
days.
yeah. So just to remember around that. And the other thing is around reporting, because we've got our first week of the month reporting due as well. So I'd suggest, given that the first is Thursday, that we put reports out after Easter, basically. So let's get them out Tuesday and onwards next week, eh? Awesome. Well, because Phil, you and Ben are our guests from Perth today, Ben is going to be running through this little part. Does that sound all right, Ben?
I am.
Can you read that? Is that large enough for you, Ben, at your screen
Yes,
there?
I can read that. Yes,
Perfect.
sure.
Yeah.
We acknowledge that we are on the traditional lands of the Kulin Nation. We offer our respects to the owners of these traditional lands and through them to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, past and present.
Awesome. And yeah, we'll just step through this. We'll take we sort of finish up this main part of the format around about 11 o'clock, where we do a stretch and that sort of thing, Phil. So you're more than welcome at that point in time. I think we do a snapshot. Anthony's our resident screenshot photographer. We'll take a smile and wave, and so that's sort of the timing probably for today.
So our mission is to protect, build, and grow business using social media marketing. Our purpose is to gain competitive advantages for businesses using social media marketing tactics that include Facebook advertising to attract and retain more customers. And these are our 6 passions. And I'm going to our main one of March was passion. And considering we're still in March, I'll still talk about passion. I believe that if you're passionate about the subject or about any topic, that makes it a lot easier to come across as genuine. You come across as actually caring about the topic that you're talking about. And it comes across as the fact that you know your business if you're passionate about it. And it makes it a lot more comfortable for people to actually resonate and understand and talk with you.
Cool.
The long and short tail objectives. So we aim to protect your business and your brand through online and social media websites. We aim to differentiate your brand, business, and representatives on social media. We intend to make you top of mind with your target communities by increasing the number of communication touch points that they can find you on. And we aim to increase business development opportunities using inbound marketing tactics and to drive your target audience to explore their interests, inquire via your website, phone, email, or brick and mortar store. This here is our products and services, which you can find on the website. You can find our audit and consult fees, which are waivable. You can find our management fees, and you can find our setup and planning fees for when we go through and help you set up on your social media sites.
Yeah, as well as the deliverables and the benefits of doing those various services.
And this here is our strategic model. Phil, you would have seen this when I did my presentation, but there's nothing like a refresher. So the social media marketing sits in the top of your business house, which is next to your promotions and your communications. It assists with all other promotion, marketing and communication material that you're currently doing. We look at what you look like online personally and business-wise, and we look at what your rivals look like online. We look at how we can grow your network online via LinkedIn as well as Facebook and across all the social media channels. And we look at what your current customers look like, because that's probably what your new prospects are going to look like as well. Our social media marketing model works best when there's strong foundations. The strong foundations include a good website filled with nice content. We use a repurposing model whereby we take the content from your website and repurpose it for social media. And we set up the 4 major social media accounts we actually set up include your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Instagram, and your Twitter. We also go through and set up your Google My Business and your YouTube. as these are the two largest search engines that the world currently has to offer. In the top right-hand corner, this is the one where I struggle with seeing a bit. Less than 50% of businesses have ever used social media, and of that, only 35% have actually ever advertised. And of that 35%, I guarantee you that none of them have actually got a social media marketing strategy in place. We use a mixture of organic and paid Facebook, as we know that this has the actual best return on investment. And in the bottom right-hand side, this is what we use to actually measure our customers' return on investment by how many views they actually receive on their Facebook page and across the social media channels.
Cool. Rightio. Thanks, Ben. Good job. I don't know that we need to touch too much on this, really. My chapter went back, just a quick snapshot probably for our BNI chapters around the country. Mine was the first time back in person since I've been part of the chapter, so that was good. It was we had a good turnout because they did it as a first birthday, so it was nice to actually be back in person for the first time ever in 9 months with that chapter. So yeah, it was a much better experience with those people in a in-person room. How'd you get on last week, Adrian?
Yeah, so mine was the second week back in person, trying out a different venue, which everyone seems to be reasonably happy with. So I think that's the venue we'll be sticking with for the sort of foreseeable future.
Yep. And Anthony, you've only known it in terms of since you've joined membership. Have you been to most weeks in person?
Most weeks in person. A couple started off on Zoom, but yeah, the last month has been in person, and it is very good. Yeah.
And I don't know if you play tennis, Phil, but if you ever do, you can get coaching by Anthony's uncle coaches at Kooyong Tennis Club. So that's not bad. It's a beautiful venue too, right?
Yeah, it's unreal.
Kooyong's almost as hard to spell as Maribyrnong. There you go, Kooyong. And Hannah, you guys, you've got something to report really because you did the Brisbane Awards, you and Emily, yeah?
Yeah, we both had the Brisbane Awards, so there would have been like a couple hundred people. So it was just every chapter in Brisbane for like a big breakfast awards, which was good.
And I liked there was quite a bit of bonding going on with the Midas group, wasn't there?
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Just like some of the winners, it was just all a bit funny. They gave out these big attendance awards, like a size of like a degree that you'd frame a degree in, and everyone was just laughing, going, "You have to attend. What is it? Why are people getting participation awards?" So. Yeah, we're all laughing about that.
So it's good to have a little bit of bonding every now and again, even if it's not a sundowner like your chapter did, Ben. So, yeah, we've got the president here. So I guess you could say, was there anything different last week or anything to report from last week's meet?
Not from last week, no.
It was that different. I was absent. And
oh, wait, yeah, no, you weren't there.
Yeah. So how did it go? I'd like a report.
Yeah. Madeline did a great job stepping in as president. She's done it twice now, hasn't she?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. She did a pretty good job. It wasn't last minute, but it was like how much time did she have to prepare? She didn't have to. I
let her know about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I sent her Thursday prior. I sent her all the information. She's had it before as well. So
all right, fair. There was something where someone left it very last minute, and I can't remember what it was. But Maddie did a fine job in your position. Don had a good turnout of visitors. Don had around 3 or 4 visitors rock up, which was pretty good. And whose presentation was it? It was Jenny's presentation, and Jenny did a fine presentation, making superannuation sound interesting. And I think it was the monthly report. We've already smashed out the monthly goal as well, so Vicky was extremely happy.
Okay.
That's the most we've found out about anybody's chapters ever. That's what do you do when you're the president? Did you need to get a sub? You still need. Did you get a sub on the day?
Yeah, I looked and looked. I asked about 10 of my friends and associates, work associates, and none of them could make it. And then I put a post on Facebook, our group, saying, "Oh, can someone help out?" But for some reason, it didn't show. I noticed it had the little question mark next to it, as if I was, it says Facebook has posted this as a question, but no one could see it.
Right.
And I was like, after about 4 hours, and I'd had no one respond saying they could help out. I was like, oh, my chapter's letting me down here, you pricks.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't realise no one could see it.
Oh, there you are.
Until I went in to see one of the other members, and I was like, and I asked him, I said, have you seen that post? And he's like, no. And anyway, we did some digging around.
Other than Ben, we're lucky that we can kind of either use ourselves or we try and use other chapter members to come in. As you said, after you've exhausted the sort of client / network, but often if they're visitors, you're almost better to invite them as visitors when you're there, right? So
yeah, we've got on our attendance list that comes out each week, there's a list of people that like to sub, but I don't want to use people like the lady that did sub for me. I don't know her personally. I've only met her through BNI, so
yeah.
She did a great job. I'm not complaining or anything, but I like to try and.
At this present moment in time, Ellie Hooper should probably just join as a member. I'll be honest with you, Phil. She's subbed that.
The super sub. Yeah.
She wants to join, but what structure of it, or the way her business is running and the funding and all that at the moment, she says it's a bit much. But
she's subbed for the past. I think it's been like a good 4 or 5 weeks that she's actually been there.
And she'll be this week as well for someone else.
She'll be there in this week.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's better than no one, and it may well still mean that you can get a very big participation award at the end of the year when Perth does its awards. given what Hannah was saying. Around winning, I just wanted to sort of share this one, particularly with I've spoken with Adrian as well, but this is going to be a really good opportunity for us. So Phil, just so you know, so Reach Local do a lot of pay-per-click and particularly around Facebook advertising. And so we just have an opportunity, and we met with Jeff from the Melbourne Reach Local during the week last week, and I think this is going to be a really good opportunity for us. So it's going to frame a lot of the things that I'm going to do looking forward. We're not there yet in terms of what the partnership might look like, but I think any feedback from Ben, Anthony, Hannah in terms of your thoughts from our meeting? It was towards the end of the week, wasn't it, last week?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was good. It was a different sort of platform marketing tools. So it was good to hear. He's obviously a successful businessman, isn't he, Steve?
Yeah, well, his role in it, so it'll be him, and I just connected with the sort of Nicole, I think it is, also in his office, so as to look at what the relationship might be like. But ultimately, we'd want to have similar relationships in the Perth office, Ben, with you and the Perth, team, and similarly with Emily and Hannah with the Brisbane team, that sort of thing. So. Yeah. Anyway, that will be a growing, and I'm pretty excited because just for Phil, for your understanding, often because we manage people's social media sites and their social media sites only, right? So, but our strategy, as Ben was explaining a moment ago, is to actually get people across to the website, as well as the phone or the email or the office. But the main thing we can track is the website, because we know how many people go across, because Facebook Pixel lets us know. But what we don't have access to is their website. So ultimately, we're not about form capture, or if it's a Shopify shopping type site, that sort of thing. So ultimately, our return on investment means how many people have we sent across and how many people are calling or visiting, that sort of stuff. That's our return on investment. But often people want the return on investment means is my till ringing ultimately, right? And so this is what this will enable us to some degree, is basically reach local, have access to form on website, are then able to go that next step. So if Ben's sending someone across to Wayne's website, for argument's sake, basically, and Wayne's got a form that says book a meeting, well, then basically reach local, close that loop. Basically, they'll be able to say, well, because of the ad. Now, again, certain clients don't really need that loop closed, because already Wayne sort of says, well, we already know that's happening, right? But certain other clients, it's not so obvious. So if you're wanting, a particular, you've got a book to offer or whatever else it might be, or as I said, particular products which are more transactional, they want to really know that they're clicking on the right spaces and that they're doing what they should be doing, right? So on the call to action. So anyway, pretty exciting times, I think, for us in terms of closing a loop that it's sometimes quite difficult for us to otherwise, we're almost asking them, how's it going? Whereas once we have this in place, we'll know how it's going. So cool. Now, Phil, I've used your LinkedIn here, but did you want to share from your end if I was to stop sharing? Did you have anything, or do you just want to talk to, do you have a presentation today for us?
I've not prepared one. I can make one up on the spot.
Oh, no. If you don't have one prepared, just talk through what you would normally talk through. I think Ben, it was only because Ben had mentioned that you'd perhaps like to talk through, generally speaking, we like to sort of hear what a presentation might look like for you in the chapter, but we're clearly also interested in, your BNI journey and business journey as well. So
yeah, okay. So the journey is 10 years ago, I went out on my own. That was during boom time, so business was easy. And the GFC happened. It was tough. I started 10 years prior. While I was employed, I did commercial work, so hospitals, schools, universities, or big commercial fit outs and things like that. So I know that. But when I went on my own, I wanted to start small, because I'd seen too many electricians in the boom period start big and fail big. So I knew I was going to make mistakes. Yeah. I wanted to make small mistakes, not big ones. And so, now, it's been up and down for 10 years. And now I'm shifting more towards the commercial space as the business picks up again. So it's probably been, up until 2 years ago, it was about 70% residential, 30% commercial. Now I'm looking to go 60% commercial, 40% residential. So I'm in the process of shifting. I don't want to just cut residential off, like it's, small jobs, not as much profit as what commercial can be potentially, but it's what I've done for 10 years. It's how I've established myself. So it's like starting over and you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket either. You need to diversify.
That's a pretty significant accomplishment, though. 10 years. Where do you mainly focus on in terms of, aside from commercial or residential, do you have sort of geographic focus as well for the business?
Yeah, I want to keep things as close to base as possible. I've got a couple of customers through referrals and things, or they've moved which are further away. My sister lived in a country town which was 3 hours away, so there's contacts out there as well. I do a little bit of country work. It just keeps things a little bit different. I don't mind doing it, but I don't want to be, when I'm quoting a dental fit out that's a 45-minute to an hour drive away, it's sort of, you can't be competitive to, for something that's running for 3 months. You're driving out there every day.
So in some ways, so for others to know, so Midland is the east of Perth, and that's where you're based, correct? And and that would be, so you sort of would do a lot of your work in that. Is Midland not? What's the council for Midland?
City of Swan,
City of
isn't it?
Swan.
City of Swan, which is a pretty big council, right? I think it's
one of the biggest geographical ones.
Yeah.
Other than the rural.
Yep. Yeah. And Phil, is there just yourself, or is there others in the business?
It was just myself most of the time. I had apprentices a few years back and they turned tradie. I took them on as tradie. And that was when the GFC happened and I went backwards really quickly. So then I went back to my own. But in February or last year, I was thinking about putting someone on again. Or 2019, 18, 19, I was considering putting people on again. Then it was forced upon me because my back went.
Right.
So I had surgery lined up, but COVID restrictions meant there was no elective surgery. So when my back went, I was like, okay, it's time to put someone on. So I put a guy on 3 days a week. My back went, so it worked out, perfect timing. COVID came, so it was an additional 3 months that I was out of work at least. Well, I had surgery and I couldn't work after that. And I since put on an apprentice as well.
Was it late enough in terms of when you put the person on that you're able to get any JobKeeper assistance or not?
No, we didn't. Because it was only 3 days a week, I think JobKeeper, you need to have lost at least 30% work.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yep.
And we didn't. We were still quite busy.
You're going along, yeah. Well, that's good. So that person's working out well by the sounds. Yeah.
I used, when I found him, and the reason the guys in the past, they were good apprentices, but they just didn't have the experience that I needed.
Mm.
And I was probably expecting too much from them. When I took this guy on, I used the services of my business coach and a recruiting agent. And it cost me a little bit of money, but it was the right personality. He's the perfect person for the job role that I need him for. So that's why it's working. Rather than me putting my personal bias on it.
Mm.
I like him. He's a great guy. Come on over. What we did is we created the job, created an avatar, the perfect person, skill level, personality.
Mm-hmm.
Then all the applicants that came in when we put the job out, we get them to do a personality test, and you're like, this person is a 90% match to what we're looking for. This person, on their resume, they can have great experience, they live close, they fit the profile, but if they're only a 3 out of 10 match to what the job role is, it's not going to work. So,
and so are they, so part-time at the moment, are they wanting to move to more hours and you're hoping to do that? Yep.
He was a stay-at-home dad for 2 years, so he's gone back part-time while his kid's gone to school part-time, and at the end of this year, he'll be able to come full-time. I'm actually looking to put on another person in the next month or 2 or 3.
As well. Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds positive. And so when you're normally, how do you normally frame your referral requests? I could probably put Ben on the spot, but I won't. But with your 60 seconds, how do you normally sort of frame those 60 seconds? Do you use avatars for your 60 seconds as well as for your employees?
No, I will go back on, I usually like to give a success story for the week. And then list something, like I say, why I'm looking for this person, whether it's a nursing home manager or I like to give real examples. So my referral requests are based around what's happened in the week prior.
Yeah, I'm always reminded of a one-to-one I had with the chapter I was in initially, the electrical guy, and it was one of the first ones. Maybe it was an early one for him and for me, but he was the reason why I always put in brackets now after the referral. How you do your last 10 clients. I actually put in brackets where that came from. But I remember speaking to Louis, LC Electrical over here, and Louis was telling me, that one was the maintenance person at this shopping centre, and that one was the maintenance person at this retirement home, and that one was the maintenance person at this school. I'm like, so Louis, you just really want me and others to refer you to the maintenance people. That's effectively, and so, which was a real sort of, I don't know, I think he may have already been on it, but yeah, realistically, he needed maintenance people to basically, and so he would stand up and basically that's what he'd ask for most weeks, right? In terms of that would often give him greater work opportunity.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like, from what you've just said, then it sounds like some of those opportunities. Do you get many? What would you say the return work as well as, do you have ongoing sort of things where it's coming back month in, month out, or year on, year in?
Yeah, definitely. I've got a lot of return customers. I'm trying slowly to get on board. I'm not going full hog to. I looked at getting on board with like community housing and things, but you got to go through a lot of red tape. You need to double your public liability insurance. You have to do all these inductions, and you have to have quality assurance, quality control insurance things and processes in place, which I don't have. Like, they want to see evidence of at least weekly meetings, and only up until 12 months ago, I didn't have staff. They're same with the apprenticeship.
Yeah.
The apprenticeship board, they won't give you an apprentice unless you can prove you're having weekly meetings, and I'm on my own. And they're like, no, they actually said just document something. I'm like, no, you're being unreasonable.
Oh, there you go.
I am building that up. I'm on board with a few big strata management companies like Discovery Caravan Parks. They're Australia's biggest caravan park.
Yeah.
Race. So it's small.
Do you sort of, just in terms of your working week, just how you spread yourself out? Do you do out of, what do they call it, after hours calls as well?
If I'm available,
Sunday, if you're available, yeah. Generally, they speak. Anybody else got any questions of Phil, or anything else you want to let us know about Phil?
No, that's it. I'm like I said to Ben, I'm going to have a meeting and set up. I like what you guys do. I just need to make sure my ducks are all in a row first, and make sure I can handle the work, because I can see Wayne, he's struggling, like the calls are coming in. And
he gave me
struggling to keep up with it. And I said to him, you need to put a second person on, but I think I went through that stage where when I was small and starting, that was my selling point. I was like, you get me, I'm the boss, and that is attractive to some people. But now that I'm trying to grow, that's what's holding me back.
I said to him, he needs a secretary, I'll be honest with you. Because at this present moment in time, he goes home and Wayne spends 3 hours once he gets home doing quotes.
Yeah.
Everything. I'm just like, Wayne, I think you really need to hire someone to do your quoting.
And I said to him as well, I was like, I'll put someone on. He's like, no, they want me, and I'm the one that's trained and skilled, and I get that. But he'll be, thinking about retirement in the next 5 years, 10 years. Yeah. So he needs to train. I'm already thinking my exit plan, not exit from the business, just to retirement. So I've done, and it dawned on me the other day, I've done 20 years on the tools. Another 20 years sort of off the tools, and I'm at retirement age then.
Yeah. That's right. I think it's always good to work out when you hope to get out and how you hope to get out. It's an interesting one though, in terms of firstly, I should say that Wayne isn't necessarily because Hannah, I think, gets this a little bit up in Brisbane. She has one-to-ones, and people will say, I'm already too busy, I don't want to get busier. Well, is that and are you always going to be, depending on who you're competing against too, as you said, managing with the ebbs and flows, there's an element of what you want to maintain. And then I think Ben just mentioned it's more around how then Wayne might manage his work rather than, scarcity is a great thing, right? So I love the fact that Wayne is super busy, right? So then it's just a matter of saying, well, I can't do this Friday, but I can do next Friday, you know what I mean? Yeah. So there is that element of how you best manage the workflow and the work. So maybe we do create problems at times, but hopefully they're good problems to have, in terms of if you're too busy. I think that's generally a good thing rather than a bad thing. Let's keep on moving, if that's okay. Thank you so much for joining us and for sharing that, Phil. That's been awesome. So we'll just flick through here. Guys, we're sort of sticking with the same sort of monthly, really. We'll just talk about a client learning or something from support or BNI related with regards to what we might share from our win side of things. We've been sort of spending the month talking about reports. So Yep, good morning. My name's Steve Hubbard, and I'm your Masters of Marketing graduate from Monash Uni and your Diffy Social Media Marketer here in Footscray, Melbourne. My local council is Maribyrnong. My win for the week I've shared with you already. And I just had a missed call from Jeff from Reach Local. Very excited about we've been talking about collaborations as a group, right? And so I'm very excited about where that collaborative might go. And so the main thing is it really fixed a problem where one of our clients that Anthony and I have been working on have been really sort of saying, well, I can see all the traffic, but they're not buying my book or booking an appointment with me. So we're wrapped that looks like we're going to have someone to put him in touch with, and we'll be able to solve that sort of issue. And so this week I noticed that the auto-related industry is one that that they're very keen on, and so maybe my local rental, hire car rental, I'd like a referral to. Over to you, Adrian.
Thanks, Steve. Good morning, everyone. I'm a marketing graduate from VU, and I'm your Diffy Social Media Marketer here in Footscray. We have lived, worked, and played for a few months now. My client learning for the week would be just to make sure I've got regularly scheduled meetings with my clients, just 15-minute meetings, just to go through updates with them. And my BNI related win for the week would be we've successfully found a new venue that we'll be sticking to for the next year or so. So that's good. That's good for our BNI. And I would really like to work with and for copywriters this week, as I'm looking to sort of grow the contact sphere in my BNI. And next up would be Anthony.
Morning, everyone. I'm a marketing graduate from La Trobe University. I'm your Diffy Social Media Marketer here in Epping, where I've lived, worked, and played for the last 5 years. My wins for the week is, and also my BNI networking related thing is, I did the national MSP, they call it now, the online learning thing for BNI. So that was pretty interesting. And also got a client that a potential client that I'm going to chase up, another cafe. So yeah, I'd like to work with and for businesses in the hospitality industry. Up next is Hannah.
Sorry, good morning, everyone. I'm your marketing graduate from QUT, and I'm your Diffy Social Media Marketer here in Brisbane, Queensland, where I've lived, worked, and played for 8 years. My wins for the week or client learning would probably be what Adrian said. I had a catch up with Dee from Bounty Boxes just to get access to some accounts. So it's keeping up though, and that was good. I actually hadn't met her, so it was good to actually meet her online. So yeah, keeping up communication with your clients so that we can, report and do our job to the best we can. And for BNI, definitely was the breakfast. It was really nice. I always enjoy catching up with my BNI, and yeah, it definitely helps build, a genuine friendship and relationship with them all. So, and this week I would like to work with and for businesses in the trades industry. So again, we want a plumber. We would like a plumber, anything sort of like that. We're open to. Our BNI is growing, which is good. And up next is Ben.
Good morning, everyone. I'm your marketing graduate from ECU. I'm from Perth, Wanneroo, where I've lived for the past 14 years. My wins for the week: client learning or support BNI related. Wayne's outside referral to me looks to have come to fruition. So we are looking at doing a setup and planning session, hopefully this week. But if not, it will be next week, which will be nice. So that's okay. So yeah. And this week I'd like to work with and for, I'm going to go with tradies as well, but I'm going to go with we're still looking, if I'm not mistaken, Phil, we're still looking for painters. So I'd like to be connected with them and then invite them along to our chapter.
Yes, painters are elusive like plumbers.
Yeah, it's Wayne. Wayne is always topic of the month, isn't he? So the Cleaning Association, Ben and I were talking about that really is almost cream into dream type referral for Ben, right? So first you've got someone that's really achieving great results, that's referring him to the whole association, and so that really is an amazing referral from Wayne. But it's also just a building of that relationship is incredible. So way to go. So at this stage, I'll hold off, Ben, then in terms of until I get a calendar confirmation, yeah, and we'll wait for that one. Yep.
Yeah.
There's two things, so I'll wait off on that one.
Guys, I got it.
Yep. Anthony, we do have. I've got to just remind me. I've got to do the one though. We have. Thanks for doing that calendar for Lindy and the what do we call it? Yoga? No, what is it? Lindy, what's her business?
The Pilates.
Pilates. That's what I'm looking for. Pilates studio. We've got tomorrow, 2 hours. So cool.
Yeah.
All right. So Adrian, do you want to?
Okay, let's go. Anthony, what was Hannah's client learning for the week?
Similar to yours, she set up a meeting, catch up, just to get access to some social media accounts.
Yep, that's right.
That is right.
And let's go Ben, who is Hannah looking to connect with this week?
Tradies. Hannah was looking
What
to
type
connect
of
with
tradie?
Plumber. Ha ha. I was
He tried to get you there.
And let's go Steve, what was Anthony's win for the week?
Well, Anthony's win for the week was doing national MSP training.
That's right.
What was the best thing about national MSP training? Did you meet anybody else?
Oh, I connected with a few people actually, but honestly, the best thing was the best. It just dragged on. It shouldn't have gone for as long as it did because we already do it online, and then we're going through everything again.
So the best thing was when it finished, is what you're telling me.
A little bit, yeah.
But,
I've got a bit of a success story. I did the leadership team training face to face a week or two ago. It's not BNI or skill related, but I sat down at the table and there was 5 other people on the table. None of them had paper. And of course I had a big wad of paper. So they're like, oh, can I borrow some paper? And I'm like, here you go. Can I have paper here? And it just I was like, wow, that was an easy credibility right there.
that's it.
Could have charged for that paper. Supply and
That's
demand.
right. Got to be ready nowadays. Well, we don't have our normal stretcher, so Ben, you could give us a stretch this week. You know what you like. Have you worked out already this morning? You've already been to the gym?
I haven't, no, because I've injured my ribs. So we are being very tentative with everything we do at the moment. We've got irritated ribs.
Okay, well we won't stretch. Yeah. Anything that
So
hurts there.
So we're gonna go to the tricep one again. So we're gonna see if we can get our triceps. So like this, grab elbow, and then pull forward.
I don't feel anything from that.
I can hardly
Am I
get
not
my
doing
elbow.
it right?
I can't see your elbow.
Yeah, what's up?
And other arm. It should be along the outside of the tricep. If you can't feel it, then you've got quite good mobility within your.
Yeah, maybe.
Shoulder.
All right, so given we've got Phil here, although he's just taken the phone, I was going to say the obvious one for West Australians is you actually do the W. You know that, right? So, but we might have to give because that's it's actually a Wildcat sort of. I think it was those guys from Channel 10 used to do it. Do you remember? I don't know if you've ever seen that, Ben. Adrian, do you remember it?
No, I don't remember.
That's pretty much where I got it from. Was that you'd go to a Wildcats game and they would all be doing this, right? So. Channel 10 particularly, but look like we've lost Phil, so maybe while Phil's I don't know, should we wait for a second and then we'll do the snap? Otherwise he'll have a snap and he'll be taking a phone call. And what we'll have to see is that was a call for business, because it's often good when we can be lucky that creates business. All right, Phil, are you there for a happy snap? And then we're going to take a quick break. All right, happy snap. What are we going to do?
We'll go for the W.
We'll go for the W.
For West Side. There you go.
I'll go thumbs up.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful.
All right. Now, that is the formalities for our guest today done, Phil. So we're going to take a coffee break now and step up. But thanks so much for joining us.
No
Thanks,
worries.
Phil.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Phil.
Phil.
Have a good day.
Bye.
See you Thursday, Phil.
See ya.
Enjoy.
See you, Phil.
See ya. All right.